Whether it's the famous Kanye West or a young rapper just starting in the music industry, there's a common issue: you don't own your music. Yes, that's right, even some of the biggest rappers in the world don't actually own their music. But how and why is this happening in an era where music industry experts talk about the benefits of being an independent artist and owning your music? We recently heard about P. Diddy returning the rights to Bad Boy Publishing for artists like Mace and the Notorious B.I.G. Bad Boy Records is a label started by rapper Sean Puffy Combs, also known as P. Diddy, in 1993. While it has given opportunities to many artists over the years, it also needs to make money. Many artists have had their music published by the label for a long time. Kanye West, just a few years ago, posted an 80-page contract demanding the return of his masters for all the music he worked on at Def Jam. Let's break it down. When an artist starts making music, they're not thinking about the business side of the industry. They're driven by their love for creating and put time, love, and energy into making art with their message. You might be familiar with artists like Russ and Nipsey Hussle, who believed in owning their masters. But what is a master? A music master, or master recording, is the original recording of a song. It is the source that all later copies are made, including vinyl, cassettes, CDs, and MP3s. Owning the master recording gives the artist or record label they're signed to the legal rights to freely utilize the song to make money. It also gives full control over the music, allowing the artist to license the recording to third parties, like TV shows, films, commercials, or even sampling by other artists. To keep it simple, owning your master means having the rights to the original music recordings you created. But why would artists give up something they created? Well, you see, nowadays, the music industry is completely different. We don't see hundreds of CDs in stores like HMV, Target, and Walmart anymore, thanks to Spotify. These days, you see less artists signing with record labels. Instead, they take on the challenge of building their careers independently, essentially becoming their own companies. They do get help along the way from their managers, agents, and some others. But back in the day, the infrastructure to facilitate this independence didn't exist. There was no Instagram, and you couldn't simply film a 1-minute TikTok and reach people all around the world. Record labels held all the power. They would get your music on the radio, which was a major way to discover music before the internet became so prevalent. They would place your music in stores and book you for shows. They could even put you in a glamorous studio worth millions of dollars. But there was a catch. And this is why not only rappers, but artists in general don't own their music. But if the music industry has changed, why hasn't the contracts? Let's take a rapper like YG for example. Since he released his album My Crazy Life, he hasn't earned much from his music, despite having hits like Who Do You Love, Big Bank, and more. The reason behind this is the contract YG signed. YG makes money from doing shows, selling merchandise, and making appearances, which keeps him motivated to fulfill his label obligations and eventually get out of the contract. So what does a music contract even look like? Well, nowadays, if you've built incredible recognition like having a hit song independently or a strong fan base, you can enter negotiations with a label. We've seen this with artists like Russ and, more recently, Ice Spice, who landed $1 million deals and kept their masters. You should check out our video on Ice Spice for more details on that. However, time and time again, artists who sign these sometimes 80-page contracts do not have the leverage and sometimes haven't hired qualified music lawyers to handle and explain the contracts to them. Another great example of an artist being smart was 50 Cent when he signed with Interscope. 50 took an advance of $1 million and was able to receive points on his album Get Rich or Die Trying. Because 50 had such an unstoppable buzz and built leverage, he was able to do that. Points on an album mean that he gets a percentage of the revenue earned by the songs. To put it in context, Get Rich or Die Trying sold over 10 million. So let's imagine a rapper signing to a label. The rapper is often given an advance by the label. An advance is like a loan you get from a bank, but it's a pretty bad loan with high interest rates. The rapper will give up their rights to their music, sometimes a percentage, in exchange for the loan and opportunities provided by the label. The advance can range from $5,000 to $500,000. The label might pay for a fancy new studio for the artist to record in, but this expense will be deducted from the money the artist earns from their music. Any budgets given to the artists are essentially loans that must be paid back. Now let's delve into the finer details. Earlier we talked about how the music industry has changed, but contracts haven't. Let's give some examples. A contract might contain a 10% breakage fee. This fee was originally for when truck drivers transported vinyl records around the world, in case the records got damaged. But today, most music is listened to through streaming, so this fee doesn't really make much sense anymore. Next, we could have a 25% distribution fee. This fee used to be what record labels paid to distribute vinyl or CDs to stores worldwide. Again, it's outdated in the age of streaming. Another example is a 10% fee to give to shops to promote your album. This 10% would be given to stores for giveaways and other promotions to encourage people to buy your CD. Do you see a pattern here? Many of these costs are outdated, but are still included in what could be a 50 to 100 page contract. The rapper signs the contract, gives up ownership in perpetuity, meaning forever, in exchange for a loan and the opportunity to reach more people. It's just a broken system. When a rapper like Russ signed his contract with Columbia, he had leverage and retained ownership of his masters. When he became independent, he funded his 2021 project, Chomp, with a bank loan.
I think what makes you a boss is that, like, you own your shit, you own all your shit, like you're the boss. Artists really need to just go to a bank. You feel me? Just go to the bank and get a loan with a way better interest rate.
He utilized his relationships and everyone the label had, including radio producers, Spotify, Apple Music executives, and himself. He gained the knowledge of the industry, and all he needed was money to fund it. We've seen some rappers get burned by label contracts recently, like Megan Thee Stallion or UGK legend Bun B. So, should rappers sign to labels? The independent road isn't an easy path to success. The ownership aspect can seem glorious, but people often don't see what goes on behind the scenes, such as handling your own merchandise, dealing with radio producers, and securing sponsorship deals, among other things. If a rapper has leverage, they can negotiate a clear and lucrative contract that ensures opportunity and fair payment for their product and time. With leverage, you could avoid what they call signing your life away.